Hey, one more thing before you go. Venice, Tokyo, Argentina, Thailand, Scotland, food, fun, friends, history, architecture, and so much more. What are we talking about? Well, today we're going to serve up a special treat as we take you on a culinary journey with the Netflix sensation Somebody Feed Phil, starring the ever charming Phil Rosenthal, the genius behind Everybody Loves Raymond. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about Phil's journey across the world. I'm your host, Michael Hurst. I'm here with my lovely wife and co host, Diane.
Hello.
Welcome to One More Thing Before You Go over the Teacup Sunday. Hey, Diane.
Hey, Michael.
What's
Uh,
so funny?
I don't know. You had like you were doing duck lips when we came back. It's like, why are you doing that?
It's a theater thing. We'll just call it a theater thing. Do duck lips.
Okay.
Get all the crinkles out of your. Well, you can't see it
Okay.
because I have a small bit of a beard today,
Yes, you did
so
not shave.
I did not shave. So I hope
No.
everybody forgives me for not shaving. But sometimes you
Oh,
just
well,
gotta not shave. It's a Labor Day weekend. That was too much work.
that's right.
One of
Yeah.
those things. Well, I'm really excited about this. I know we've mentioned this delectable bit of a show in another episode or two, but this time we're going to dedicate our conversation specifically to this wonderful opportunity to understand food,
Mhm.
culture, friends, and family across the world. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited about talking to you about specifically Somebody Feed Phil because we've been binge watching it and it is like an addiction that we can't let go.
No, I have to see at least an episode every day. I love, 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 love the show. It is actually like a happy pill for me. Because if I'm like if I'm kind of feeling down or stressed or something, this is the perfect show.
It
I have
is.
never seen a happier human being. Phil is
Well,
amazing.
and you heard him on a couple of other podcasts. I'd love to get him on this podcast. Maybe I can try to reach out and
Oh
say,
my
hey, we
gosh.
love you. We love your food.
Phil,
We talk
come
about
talk
you.
to us.
Yeah. Give me a call. Give me a call, bro.
Please.
Well, I think that, this is an absolutely wonderful way to celebrate this Labor Day weekend and the end of summer. I know it's not technically the end of summer, but Labor Day is like, the, of, well, it's not the official day of the end of summer.
No,
But
no, but
it's kind of
it's,
the end of summer. Labor Day is like
yeah,
the end of summer. So
in America.
in America. So
Yeah,
we're going to share this with you as we celebrate the end of summer.
yeah,
You want me to tell you a little bit about Phil Rosenthal and
yes.
Everybody Love Phil? No,
Yeah.
Everybody Love Phil. Somebody
Somebody
feed.
feed
I
Phil.
combined a couple of his stuff and my stuff. Not my stuff, but
Yeah.
his. Both of his things together. So it might
Well,
work, right?
right. And the show actually started on PBS as a show titled I'll Have What Phil's Having. We never saw
Which
that one though.
we didn't see that one, but this one's much
Mm-mm.
better. So let's tell
Well,
you a
we
little
don't
bit.
know if it's much better.
Well, I think so because obviously Netflix picked it up and Netflix kind of said, "Hey, can you fine tune this?" Or
Right.
I'm guessing, but
No, I don't know.
it's
But
interesting because Phil Rosenthal, he's an actor, he's a producer, he's directed, I think, and he isn't just the creator of the beloved sitcoms. He's also a man with an insatiable appetite for adventure and food. He's a bottomless pit,
he really is. I do not know how this man
is what he
puts so
is.
much food away at one time.
It's
He's so skinny. I don't know how he does
yeah.
it.
Well, he's put a little bit of weight on since we've been watching it the first season, the first
Yeah,
few
because I think
episodes.
we're into season
Five.
5, I think now, and I
So
think there's
he's
what,
got a little bulk on
7
him. He's
seasons.
got skinny ass legs though.
Yeah, that's
So
all right.
he and I have that in common.
Yeah,
See, Phil, we've got a lot in common. We love food, we
yeah,
love travel, and we both got skinny legs. So
yeah.
give me a
So come on
call.
the show.
Well, for everybody out there, if you haven't seen it, you need to see this. I think in one of these other episodes we were talking about this briefly, but my sister is the one who turned us on to it. She is a food aficionado as well, and I'm a kind of an amateur chef, and I love cooking and creating and so forth, and eating like I can. And I had to readapt my palate to my disease, unfortunately. And
Mhm.
doing so, I've had to reinvent some things. And, so this, I like watching this because it also gives me an opportunity for us to see what's available out there to eat, what
Mhm.
we should avoid, and, that kind of a thing.
I mean, he does eat some. He
Eat
he
some
will
stuff.
try anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, some of the stuff is unreal. Like there's no way I would touch it. Forget it.
he eats some shit that I definitely wouldn't eat.
No.
I would, and there's a few times he'll look at the camera like, I really don't want to eat this, but I'm going to eat this for the show.
Hmm. Because and as he says on the podcast that I listened to him on, he said that his and he kind of talked about it in the episode we watched today. His main focus really is to just convince people to try life, and a
Yeah.
lot of that is trying foods and just try it. Like he wants everybody to try everything. Um,
Well, he's just a
and
happy guy too. I mean,
he's so happy.
he's got this joyous, this joyous look on his face all the time.
Yeah. When
And
he takes a bite of something he loves, he looks like a 5-year-old that just discovered ice cream. I
yeah,
mean, it's like, and it's every single time. And you just have to,
yeah.
you can't help but smile watching the show. I mean, it's just a happy, happy show.
And he's got the biggest bites I've ever seen anybody take.
Yes.
Even in the show we just watched, they were in Madrid, and he was
Hmm.
working with a chef there, and the chef and he were both eating at the counter. I'm giving just
Yeah.
a little something away, but
Yeah.
they're both eating at the counter, and he's going. He go, can I take this in one bite? He goes, well, you got a big enough mouth to take it in one bite, And Phil goes, well, let me see. I want to try it, and yeah,
He did.
it's just crazy. But
Yeah.
basically the premise is if somebody feeds Phil, Phil travels the globe sampling the best dishes that each city has to offer, all while sharing laughs, stories, and genuine love for people and their cultures. From the bustling streets of Bangkok to the cozy cafes of Copenhagen, Phil's infectious enthusiasm and humor make every episode a feast for the senses. That's my technical description of that.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Realistically, it's kind of one of those things where he's a hugger, so he hugs
He is.
everybody,
Hmm.
and you can see that it's genuine. So
Hmm.
the reception is he enjoys talking to people. He enjoys getting to know these people and their cultures.
Hmm.
He loves sitting at a table, a communal table. What we're finding out is that the Europe, a lot of Europe, there are communal tables, and it's just a
Yeah.
norm. Here they have a few of them in
Yeah.
some of the places. Like we used to have one. Not we, but we used to go to a place in Scottsdale
It had that.
that
Hmm.
had, I can't remember the name of it now. All of a sudden,
True foods.
True Foods. Thank you, True Food Kitchens,
Yeah. Hmm.
and it was a part of another individual. I'm gonna refrain from names and things like that, because I don't want to. There was bad blood when he left. When he left there, but it was started by another guy that was a health enthusiast, and then
Hmm.
a corporation bought it, and then the corporation said we're going to go more mainstream and away from this part of
Oh.
it. So they changed the menu and a bunch of
We
other
can't eat there
things.
anymore
So we
because you
can't eat
can't eat it.
anymore.
There's
Yeah,
nothing you can eat there now.
it's a pain in the
And
butt.
I miss it so much because they still kept my thing on the menu, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there and eat and have you sit there, you
Well,
know.
I would
Um,
sacrifice. I would do that for you.
I know you would. I know, but I'm mad at them for doing what they did. So, yeah.
I would just
But
I would have a cup of tea, and then when the person comes by to the wait staff comes by and asks me what the problem is, I'll say, well, your corporation people screwed up my menu, so
yeah,
I'm going to sit here in defiance as my wife enjoys her food, and I
yeah.
starve because and you can tell him that.
Hmm. And actually, they did take. It's still kind of my thing, but it's not the thing I used to really eat. They took that off the menu completely when they bought it, so I'm still mad at them. Whatever. Um, but the communal table thing for an introvert like myself, that's very difficult. And I mean, I do enjoy watching what he does because he will go into anywhere. He'll be on the street and he will just talk to strangers, like
And feed
just
him food.
every single person on the street.
Uh,
And yeah, and he
Yeah,
shares food with them.
he'll,
And I'm
he
like,
go, here, eat this. Here, take a bite of this.
I love watching it because there's no way. there's no way I could ever do that. I just can't. It's not within me to do something like that and to be that outgoing. And he is just the most outgoing person.
Yeah, very
It's
much
fun.
so.
It's fun to
And very
watch.
happy. It's infectious. It's infectious, is what it
It's
is.
infectious. It is.
And
Yeah.
realistically, the thing that I like about it as well is the fact that he doesn't just go to the Michelin star restaurants because he has gone to some Michelin star restaurants, but
I think
he
he goes at least
balances.
one every episode.
Yeah, so he balances it with going to everyday
Yeah.
places that we could just go to,
Yeah.
that we can, in all these different places. But, I
Hmm.
think it just, I figured, I'm going to grab my tea and you got your tea and we're going to sit back. We're going to review the highlights, the heartwarming moments, and the mouth-watering meals from
Hmm.
Somebody Feed Phil. Trust us, it's going to be delicious.
We hope.
Well, we've been saying already. It's the fact that he is constantly happy. I mean, he's changed
Hmm.
a little bit because of some family changes, which we won't. Well, through
No.
between, yeah, it's okay.
Mm.
Between
Okay.
between 2019 and 2021, he lost his mother and his father. And his mother and
Who were
father,
actually part of the show.
yeah, they were part of the show, and I mean, you
Hmm.
could tell he's really um, he doesn't hide this. He's the Jewish family, so they stay
Hmm.
very well connected, and it kind of affected him when he lost his mother, then affected him when he lost his father. You can see there's a little bit of spark gone,
A
just
little bit,
just a
yeah.
little bit, kind of a
Hmm.
thing.
I think we just
Um,
started getting into the shows after his dad died.
we are just
So,
yes now.
so I'm just kind of looking for that. Like, and yeah, I think there was a little bit lost there. Understandably so,
Well, and
you know.
but at the same time, he hasn't kind of lost it either because remember when we watched Rio de Janeiro, the
Hmm.
recent one, we watched Rio de Janeiro. So you all will see this, but Phil's impromptu dance with the locals in Rio, dressed in shorts and a sweaty polo shirt, it's
Oh
kind of
gosh.
awkward. It's endearing,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I say this with heart because I have them. His chicken legs flapping around had everybody laughing.
Hmm. Yeah. But I mean, it's it endearing is a good word. That's a really good word to describe it.
It is, and I
Yeah.
mean, and the whole thing of it is it opens. I mean, it's a really cute opening too because
Yeah. Yeah.
you
We
know
don't give that away,
we
but it's
won't give
cute.
that away. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the fact that he gets out and you get to see the architecture, you can see the culture. He shows you the culture, and then he talks to these people and
Hmm.
the chefs. He gets in there and he can get anybody to talk,
Hmm.
and
Anybody.
exactly. Then they'll start fixing food for him, and then share it
Hmm.
with him, and they love it,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
It's it he really brings out um people's, I mean, everybody just loves him everywhere he
Yeah.
goes, you know?
And what's good is, we all get to see things like tacos El Pastor in Mexico City. The look of pure
Hmm.
wonder and joy on Phil's face as he tastes tacos El Pastor for the first time. Like you said earlier, it's priceless. His
Hmm.
excitement is still contagious. We can't emphasize that enough. He makes it memorable and funny, which is why
Yeah.
we like to. I mean, that's what sticks with us mostly.
Hmm. And
We
he has
watched
that
you.
sense of humor that
Yeah,
obviously went into Everybody Loves Raymond. The sense of humor is there too. So um
you
yeah.
see it. I mean, he and Raymond kind of built that. Everybody Loves Raymond. I think
Hmm.
he approached Ray Romano,
That's the way I understood it if I was
yeah,
listening closely enough to the
to that
podcast I heard
episode.
him on.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to listen to that podcast.
Yeah.
But and we were talking about his parents and Jewish. He was watching he New York City when we watched that one. I loved.
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you some of my favorite ones. When he was eating the matzo ball soup and just fell in love with it. He grew up in New York, and then he moved
Hmm.
away from New York as a young teenager to go to Hollywood to make it to make it big. And so he missed all that kind of stuff. But when he went back to New York and he got the matzo ball soup, I remember him sharing it with his parents. You know what I got? Look what I got. See what I got? And he
Hmm.
shows it to
Over
them.
Skype.
Yeah,
He would Skype. They were using Skype to every episode. They'd go in
yeah.
and they'd be there. Um, yeah, and his dad would tell jokes and It's just
And I think
I don't know. It's heartwarming.
if I remember right, I wrote this down in my notes because I think this is right. He allowed the chef Daniel Boulud to try his mother's matzo ball soup, and the interaction. I think that the guy says, "I'm going to put this in my restaurant."
I don't remember that, but that could
Yeah,
be.
I think that's what he
Wow.
did. Um,
Wow.
but it's if I remember because I know that he had one that he was going. This was amazing. This is yeah. I'm going to put this in my restaurant because
Mm.
it was so good. He used his mom's recipe and
Yeah. Well,
so
that
he
would make sense
yeah
that
yeah
it would
yeah.
be that. Yeah.
And the when he was in Spain, what again the one we just watched in Madrid,
Hmm.
uh, the churros the churros
Yeah.
were nothing like what you see here.
Oh my gosh. Well, there was very similar to the ones. It was somewhere, I believe, I want to say it was somewhere in Mexico.
Well,
A couple seasons ago that they had the same thing.
yes, but these were a variety of different forms and shapes, and they were
Mm.
small and large. And he makes
But you
kind
dip
of
it in the
jokes
dip
and
it in the
innuendos.
chocolate.
People were walking, they were in line to get into this place. There was a line around the block, and people were
Yeah.
seeing him sitting out front, and they kept coming over saying, "Well, how'd you get past the line?" He goes, "I brought cameras."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he's going, take a churro and here, dip it in the chocolate right here, but no
But only
double
one dip.
dipping. Yeah,
Right. Only one dip.
only
Yeah.
one dip. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, the I remember, and I can't remember exactly why, but there's certain episodes that stand out to me. And Copenhagen's one of them, and I think it was because of that place he kept going back to for that sandwich.
Yeah, yeah,
There it's like a little like a tiny little food stand type thing, and
yeah,
he went back and went back and went back
yeah.
um, all the time, and it's just
That's
it.
when he had his family with when he has family in Copenhagen, didn't he?
I think he had his wife and his kids in
Yeah,
Copenhagen.
because
I
his
feel like
yeah
he
he and his
did.
son
Yeah.
went to the one sandwich place that was out next to the street.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was just really good. And then there's been so many of them that for me, I'd be like, oh, I really never thought I could. If we traveled to this place,
mm.
I always thought, oh, there's nothing I'm going to eat there. I mean, I'm a really picky eater, huge picky eater, which I
As
would
your
love to
cook, I would
travel
say
with him.
yes.
I know I would travel with Phil. I would love to do that, but he would hate me because I wouldn't try anything. But
But he has convinced others to try something. I mean, he
he
really,
has,
they're
he
going,
has.
ah, no, wait a minute. No, you got to try this. No, 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 no. Just take a bite. Just take a bite. I mean, he's not like pushy, like, eat
Not
this
too bad.
now.
Not
You know
too
what I
bad.
mean?
But he
But
he does put a guilt trip out there of, I can understand you don't want to try it if you were 5.
yeah,
So
but you're an
it's
adult.
like, yeah. So anyway, it would
And
be hard for me.
his family
But
cameos are great too because when he gets to, some
yes.
of the places that he wants to go to, his wife actually was in Everybody Loves Raymond for like
Hmm.
a ton of episodes. She was,
Yeah. She was
uh,
she was Robert's the brother, the cop, the tall, really, really tall guy. She was his wife,
his wife, yeah.
or
So
girlfriend and then wife.
yeah, and what you see across is you kind of see a little. Now, Raymond said this basically kind of based on his family, but it kind of interspersed with based on his family too, because he and his brother, um, just like in Everybody Loves Raymond, he and his brother are constantly at each other, constantly
In
poking
a
each
good way.
other in a
In
good
a
way.
nice
Yeah,
way.
I got a brother. When I grew up, my brother, he's a,
Hmm.
he's uh, he's a little different now, but we're always poking at each other and this kind of a thing. So you see
Hmm.
that the whole time because his brother is an executive producer on it as well, and he's also directed a lot of the episodes and
I
things
think
like
he
that
does
too.
all of them. I
Not
think he
all.
directs all of them.
He doesn't direct them all.
No? Oh, well,
Yeah.
he's always talking to him.
He directed. Well, he's also a producer he does several
Hmm.
producing. It's Phil and you know this more than I do because you listen to him on that podcast. But
Hmm.
after Everybody Loves Raymond, he wasn't getting much work, so
Hmm.
he kind of he said I need to find something I want to do. So he pitched a few things. He's been in a few things, but he said I'm just going to do my own thing, and
Yeah,
that's what
he took what he loves the most, which is food and travel and
yeah.
people, and he said, I'm going to put them all together.
He put them all together.
So,
And that's where this all comes about. And I love the family cameos because you get to see
Hmm.
his wife and his kids, and they
Yeah.
get to come out and enjoy some things as well, and you see that joy too.
Hmm.
And then his father, of course, his mom and his dad for the first few seasons are via Skype and talking to them,
Hmm.
and they're like you kind of go, yeah, I see
They're
my
so
mom in
cute.
that, or I see my dad in that, and
Yeah, they're
his
so
dad
cute.
his dad always has to tell a joke,
Hmm.
and usually
They're
they're
funny
pretty good.
too.
Yeah, usually they're
Usually
pretty
they're
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that the moments like other ones, it kind of makes somebody feel a blending of humor with culinary adventure. I think
Hmm.
it brings us a global culinary adventure. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
He brings
Yeah.
us a global. I mean, we've talked about this but before. I think one of them we talked to, and they kind of combined this and Stanley Tucci's thing and Eva Longoria's thing and
Hmm.
Eugene Levy's thing. But
Hmm.
I'm enjoying. I think I enjoy Phil more because it is a global culinary adventure. It's not just, he
Hmm.
shows you the back ways. He goes into these little tiny little restaurants or these little stands, even street stands and things like that. So you get to
Yeah.
see it, and
Well,
I mean
the family run businesses
the
and
family room visit. So he highlights those and
hmm
showcases those and
yeah.
things like that. And
Hmm.
Italy was great. It was in Venice. It was in Florence.
Hmm.
Both of those were fantastic, and it showed us
Yeah.
a little more of. I mean, we made a list. I mean, theoretically, we like made note. We want to go back and watch Venice again. We want to go back and watch Florence again, so that when we go to Italy, finally, we
Hmm.
we know where to eat and where not to eat, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, that's if there's nothing else anybody else if somebody doesn't get anything else out of that show, it's the fact that they can make an actual list of places to go in each of these places if they're planning to
yeah.
travel anywhere. I mean, he's gone so many places in all of these seasons that you just sit there and make a list.
Well, plus you get the
You know?
beautiful architecture. He takes you
Oh
around. He goes,
yeah.
let's take a walk, and he takes you
Hmm.
around. I mean, we even if he went to San Francisco. It's not all international. He went to San
No,
Francisco. Went to did he go to Utah? No, New Orleans.
no,
He
no.
went to the
New
New
Orleans
Orleans. Then
and
he went to
Chicago.
the Mississippi Delta area from
Hmm.
Memphis down. Went from there. Went to Chicago. Went to New York, as we've mentioned earlier. So you kind of get
Hmm.
a taste of local stuff as well. So if you're not going to be
Hmm.
traveling or eating, across the pond or across the other side of the world, like in Japan, Tokyo,
Hmm.
Kyoto,
Hmm.
you kind of can find some stuff here as well. Or also understand what it brought to me in watching, especially the Mississippi Delta area, because I have family all the way down that Mississippi Delta thing. Was it brought back memories of food and I told you even before it started, I said, well, we're going to talk about cornbread and catfish and black-eyed peas and this and this and this,
Hmm.
and they brought that kind of stuff up, but they also brought other things up like barbecue and, where a
Hmm.
lot of barbecue originated from and seafood and things like that. So, you can, it gives you opportunity, I think, to kind of think about your upbringing. Like when they went to Italy, what did I do when they
Hmm.
went to Italy? I'm going, oh, remember all this stuff that I used to, growing up in Little Italy environment, I got
Right.
to not only see, hear, and be part of the Italian culture from Italians, all the way from Rome, Sicily, Naples, all over Italy that were all in that little community that we lived in.
Hmm.
To see the culture work with the food and the differences in saying, um, take time to eat and to talk
Yeah.
and to enjoy your food and don't shove it down your throat as you're walking down the street in a hurry. Sit down, relax, talk to the people next to you, kind of conversations. He points that out that you're going to find in Europe and parts of Asia they're a lot more open to conversations, especially when you're sitting at a dinner table and eating,
Yeah. Hmm.
than you find here. Everybody here kind of wants to keep themselves, and you
Hmm.
know, you start walking to their table and they look at you like, "What do you want?"
Now, some of it, I mean, who knows, right? They're coming in there with many different cameras. So everywhere they go, he's got cameras following him. It could be just people thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be on TV. Let me be cool." Who knows?
But he's clarified that
Who
too.
knows?
He said these people are genuinely
Yeah.
this way. Remember when he was in? He went to Vietnam. He went to Saigon. He said
Hmm.
he's never seen so many people smile and wave.
Yeah,
He just had
it's
never
true.
seen that many people smile and wave. They're so happy all the time. And he
Hmm.
said even he went in there with the misconception of understanding the war in Vietnam, that we had been there and
Hmm.
everything else. And he thought it was just going to be, desolate and, everybody angry. And he said there was the
Yeah,
happiest place. It was just amazing.
yeah,
So, and you saw that in the video. They
yeah.
were
He
going
did.
down, they were in the boats, remember?
And I think for me, it's been where some of these places I would have never dreamed about going. I mean, I really didn't know much about Vietnam except hearing, in history books of
Yeah.
the war and what my stepfather told me and things like that. And he did always say that, it was really beautiful. I
Yeah.
had really no idea until we watched this episode, and I'm like, oh, I, I would actually like to go there. And that's not the only one. There's been so many places. It's like, oh, I never thought I'd really want to go there.
Well,
No, I really want to go.
Even Tokyo. He
Yeah,
showed part of Tokyo. So did Eugene Levy. But
Eugene
yeah,
Levy too. Yeah,
both showed us a part of Tokyo. I never thought I wanted to be there because Tokyo is they are the largest
populated.
populated city in the world. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
that's too many
crammed
people.
into Tokyo into this area, and
Yeah.
but you also see a balance of old
Hmm.
and new there,
Hmm.
and you get to see that from your couch, or your lounge chair,
Yeah,
and gives you an opportunity to say, hey, yeah, I think I would like to go to Tokyo, or we definitely want to go to Kyoto. We've already talked about that,
yeah, yeah.
but
I think it's what I think it's done for me too is that, I kind of have this itch to travel. Like, I'm not a
yeah,
great traveler and we haven't done a lot of it, but like deep down in my soul, I really feel like that's what I want to do. But we don't have the means or the opportunity. But this has helped me feel like I'm kind of doing that in a way.
yeah.
I'm enjoying it as if I was there. So that's what's great for me about it. I love
We,
it. I
and
love
we
the
got
show
to
so
see
much.
Thailand. I never thought I wanted to go to Thailand, and Thailand was beautiful.
Yeah,
Singapore was it Singapore?
yeah,
Singapore was absolutely amazing.
yeah.
It's. I mean, there's a few shows that I wasn't as excited about just
Hmm.
because of the location, but
Yeah.
there are a few that also opened my eyes to many things.
And
You
there
know,
were a few that we were kind of like, do we want to watch this one? Are we really interested? And we do it anyway, and then we're
yeah.
surprised. So glad
Oh,
we watched it.
Bangkok's street food scene.
Yeah.
Bangkok street food was like
Wow.
n-
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy. And
Wow.
Phil would sample everything from like pad thai to exotic fruits, and people were just open to say, here, try this. And
Hmm.
they cut something open for him. Can't see my hands working. Cut something open for him and just feed it to him, and kind of. The only thing,
Hmm.
the only thing that bothered me a little bit, just because I'm like you say squeamish with that, they were like, here's strangers that are eating off the same spoon.
There's a lot of that. He doesn't seem to mind.
Like I don't think
Yeah,
so.
and then
No.
he'll feed his crew too,
Yeah.
and a lot of the
Well,
times it's off the
his crew's
same.
holding cameras and they're holding stuff in their hands. So
Right.
realistically, I understand why he's
Yeah,
feeding his
but they
crew
all eat off the
because
same one.
yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah,
And what are you
a
gonna
little
do? Spit
squeamish.
it out after he puts it in your mouth
Right.
because the other camera's following you,
Right.
kind of a
Well,
thing.
and then some of the food that he does try, for me, I get squeamish, and yeah, I won't say what, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of exotic food that he tries,
When I went to
and
Buenos Aires and Argentinian dishes and things like that, that I never thought I would really
hmm.
be interested in, but
Hmm.
it kind of opened my eyes to maybe I would try something like that. The
Hmm.
only thing I was really I don't uh, Mumbai when he was in Mumbai, there was a lot of food there that, and they were having to eat with. They don't really use a lot of utensils. They use, bread and things like that. So you get to
Hmm.
see this, and they, pull things up with bread. So I think that I would be hesitant about that. I've never had a desire to really travel to India anyway.
Hmm.
But for me, because of my hands and the arthritis in my hands, it would be difficult for me to really kind of enjoy myself in
Yeah,
Mumbai because of that.
yeah.
But it also showed me that it also showed the difference between the sharp contrast between the poor and the rich there.
Yes, it did.
And
Yeah.
we saw that in a movie. I don't know if everybody remembers this a while back, but um, what was the name of that movie?
Um,
Like Slumdog Millionaire. They showed the
mhm.
sharp contrast between that there. But then again, we also watched a couple of shows with the hotel, and they did the hotel thing twice. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of that movie, but it was very popular movies. But it also shows you
Oh,
that you could have the peaceful side of India
yeah.
outside of that arena, kind of a thing.
Um,
Um,
it starred the same guy. The same guy was in Slumdog Millionaire and the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
hotel,
as
the
there as
two
well.
hotel. Ah,
And
yeah.
I loved it. One of
Dang
my
it.
other favorite episodes, I think everybody should pay attention to, is Scotland, when he went to
Yeah.
Edinburgh, especially because they had culinary
Hmm.
traditions there. Now, you're Scottish,
Yes, I am.
okay?
Well,
I
Scottish
have
descent. Yeah.
Scottish descent. I have Scottish just in my bones as well.
Hmm.
I'm mostly Irish and English and a little bit of
Hmm.
Italian. Um, even a
I'm not eating haggis.
I'm not eating haggis.
I'm not eating haggis.
We go to
It will
Edinburgh.
not happen.
No, we go to Edinburgh when I need. Now, Mary and Tim went to Edinburgh, and
Hmm.
they loved it. They thought it was fun. Not haggis. I don't know if Tim tried it
But
or not. I
Edinburgh.
should have asked him. Yeah,
Oh,
there's a bunch
Tim
of.
would not try it. No. Mm.
Hey, he's a meat lover though. See,
I don't
so
think he would have eaten that.
he
I
might have.
would be
Yeah,
shocked.
I'll have to ask him. I'll have to ask him. But
Yeah.
what you get to see though is you get to see not only Edinburgh. You get to see the places to go in Edinburgh. You get to see the background behind
Hmm.
it. You get to see the history of it, the architecture of it, and then you also
Yeah.
get to enjoy the culture and what they do and some of the things they do in from a food perspective, which I think is like yes,
Yeah. It's
kind of
great.
one of those things. He also goes to Taiwan, Taipei, and the markets and the street food there,
Hmm.
and goes to Dubai, and I think
Hmm.
that one was okay too. What was the one we just watched? That wasn't Dubai.
I don't remember Dubai.
Um,
I don't know why
the one we
not.
just watched a few episodes ago, where the the it was on the was that Singapore? Where they went into it was almost like a huge mall of food, and um,
Oh, it wasn't Singapore, I
see,
don't
they're starting to
think. Maybe.
overlap a little bit now. We're binge watching them so much they're overlapping.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, the they had I know what you're talking about. It's actually the way they eat there, um,
Yeah,
because it's cheaper than buying the
I think
food
that's
and making
Singapore.
it at home.
That was Singapore, because yeah, I
Was
think it
it
was Singapore
Singapore?
because it was easier for them. There's such a diverse opportunity for you. It's not like the for those of us that still go to the mall, and I know there's a lot of
Hmm.
malls closing across the United States, but they've always had a food court, and that food court had, you can go to get pizza, or you can go get,
Hmm.
ice cream, or sloppy joes from another place, or whatever, or pork ribs, or whatever. You always had a
Hmm.
diverse opportunity for food. This is multiplied by about 100 times or
Oh yeah,
more.
yeah, and they have
Easy.
several of them.
Yes.
It's not just the one, and it's really the way most of them eat. They go and they
Because it's
eat there
cheaper.
every day because it's cheaper.
Yeah. But
Because it's the most. It was wherever it was. If it was Singapore,
I think
they
it was
said in the
Singapore.
episode that it's the most expensive city to live
Yeah,
in
that's
the world.
Singapore. That's Singapore. Yeah,
Was it
yeah.
Singapore?
Yeah.
So,
So yeah,
yeah, they get, but the food is like huge servings for very cheap.
Well, yeah, they said the guy's asking Phil, and you'll see this. He's going, "Well, what would you pay for this in back in the United States?"
Yeah,
And he'd go, "I don't know, 15, $20, something like that." He's this right here. All of this is like a buck and a half,
yeah.
and he's like, holy smokes,
Hmm.
it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. But
So just fun things like that you find out.
it is it is for me. I think that what I like about the show the best is what we mentioned earlier, is that his happiness is infectious.
Absolutely.
His joy is infectious. So
Hmm.
if you're feeling, even if you're feeling bad or you're feeling down or you're a little depressed, you start binge watching Somebody Feed Phil, because
Yeah,
you will absolutely, you'll
you'll
learn
feel better.
something. Oh yeah, you
Hmm.
learn something. You get to enjoy something. You get to see something. You get to learn culture, and like I said earlier, you get to learn some culture. You get to learn how
Hmm.
people are across the world in regard to things. I mean, he walked into across the board. He walks into restaurants that have been around. One of them was the longest. The one in Madrid actually is the
Hmm.
longest continuously operated restaurant in
Restaurant.
the world.
Yeah, they've been continuously in operation since I want to
Like
say 1752 or something.
something
But it
like that.
also was before it was a restaurant, it was something else that had been in existence. The walls have been in existence since like
Yeah,
1529. I mean,
1529. Yeah, yeah,
it's like insane. And the stove or the oven,
yeah.
yeah, the oven in there, the fire, it's like fire oven. I don't know what you call it.
Well, it's
It's
like
been
a
it
yeah.
it had
It's a
been
wood fired
running,
oven.
and it's been running continuously since the 1700s. Like that's just what? That's
Yeah,
insane. Yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
So, yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's good. It's it, and it you will, and it even for me, it only takes a couple episodes, 2 or 3 episodes, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy now. Like, just thank you, you
Happy and
know?
hungry.
Yeah, and hungry.
Happy and
And
hungry.
the theme song is very infectious as well.
Well,
I get that thing running through my head. It's a great theme song.
the um, the only thing that I so far, I mean, like when he goes to Kyoto, I liked Kyoto because of the serene, the beauty, the rich culinary traditions
Hmm.
of the city itself, which was a far contrast from Tokyo. But you have an opportunity to kind of see that contrast. So
Hmm.
you would have the if you're planning something, you could say,
Hmm.
okay, I want to visit this, or I'm going to do that, or I can maybe never. Well, if we were going to go to Kyoto, like I said earlier, we
Hmm.
never thought about going to Tokyo on top of that, but it's a train ride,
Right.
to get there.
And now there are some things in Tokyo that we want to see that we never really thought we want to go see. So,
Exactly.
yeah. And that's what Phil does for everybody. And that was what he set out to do. So,
And we can get a dashi maka egg omelet with pickled vegetables.
um, sure. There
Well,
are a lot of things they've shown that I would eat. I mean, it was like, okay, great, I can eat there. That's great. I mean, there's a lot of meat. There's a lot of meat, and we don't eat much meat. You don't eat any meat really,
no, I
um,
don't know meat.
except fish. But
That's
there's been things that's like, okay, I don't eat meat really, but I would eat that. Like, yes, please serve me that.
well, I want to go there and see the samurai expert Joe Okada, the oldest licensed tour guide in Japan, who shows him how to cut fruit like a samurai.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
That's what I'm going to do. I also want to do the
Yeah.
philosopher's walk. Phil takes a peaceful walk, peaceful stroll along they call it the philosopher's walk. It's a cherry tree lined canal path in Kyoto. The
Mm,
picturesque walk is especially beautiful during the sakura cherry blossom season, adding a touch of magic to your day.
I would love that. I love cherry blossom trees. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Hmm.
So I we're not completely through this yet. We are still, like I say, season five. I think there's 7 seasons right now.
Hmm.
But I would definitely, absolutely, 100% highly
Yes.
urge you, that
Yes.
recommend to you, urge you
Hmm.
that if you want a culinary journey as well as, I mean, look, there's a lot of this stuff that they show you how they're making it, and you can sample and try to do it yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
And it's also it's a great family show. Like families can watch this together, which
Yeah.
you can't say that about a lot of things anymore.
No, you really can't. And realistically, I
Hmm.
think it also it. And I said this in the show that I did with April about
Hmm.
Wanderlust. The Wanderlust, it kind of gave us an opportunity to say yes. Now, when we go someplace, we have the opportunity to kind of understand where we're going to go. We can make a list of what we want to
Hmm.
try to eat, and the fact that there are things we can eat. The only thing that I think I'm going to send to him is he hasn't been to Paris or anywhere in France yet,
Yeah, it's
and I
kind of
don't know
strange.
why. He needs to
Yeah, I
go
don't
to
either.
Yes, he needs to go to Paris, or he needs to go to southern France, or even Normandy, because they have dishes that are unique,
Hmm.
and but he needs to go to France. You've gone
Yeah.
to Italy. I think you've gone to Greece. He's gone to remember that little island he stayed on outside of the Greek. It was a very unique hotel that you could
You
stay
might be
within.
thinking of Eugene Levy show.
Oh, did I miss that? I intertwined those, didn't I?
I
Let me
think
cut
so.
that out.
Which is easy to do because we watch them both
Yeah.
and they're kind of similar. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. We'll have yes. Go to
But we
Greece
recommend
too.
that show too. The Reluctant Traveler with Eugene
Yeah,
Levy is a
Eugene
great
Levy
show as well.
kind of opens things
Um,
up for you.
he
But
just doesn't have the appetite that Phil does, and he's more like me. He's not really um, traveling is not like his forte, and trying new things is not something he likes to do. Um, so that's much more like me, but he's opened up in the couple
well,
seasons that he's
that's
done that.
that's kind of what April and I talked about this in the show, the Wanderlust show, which is
Hmm.
right there in the list. If anybody missed it or wants to go back and watch it or see it, it's on YouTube as well as on every other listening platform. We were talking about the differences in travel styles, and I had mentioned to her that we have a couple of different travel styles where I like to plan things out,
Hmm.
kind of a thing. Give us an itinerary type stuff, and then you kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to go lay on the beach for a little bit, and then let's figure out what to do,
Yeah,
kind of a deal. So I think
yeah.
by the reluctant traveler, the combination between the reluctant traveler and somebody loves Phil would
Somebody
kind
feed
of,
Phil.
or
Somebody
somebody
feed
feed
Phil.
Phil. What did I say?
Somebody loves Phil.
uh,
Now you're getting everybody loves Raymond with somebody feed Phil. You're
mixing
combining
everything
those.
all up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of it's like just
Oh
meld
God.
it all together into one big ball.
Yeah. Why not?
It's all for fun. It's all for laughs and for humor and for
Hmm.
food and for travel and for wanderlust and everything else. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. And I've lost my train of thought now. Damn it.
Because you're a planner, and I
Oh
want to
yeah,
just
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Because I'm a planner,
go
and
with it.
you're more of a. Yeah. But like April said, there's a fine balance we can do in there. We can plan stuff, but it also leave
Yeah.
days open for just saying, okay, what do you want to do today? Nothing. We're going to
Hmm.
go lay on the beach. We're going to go take a hike or whatever, and then we'll figure it
Hmm.
out afterwards, kind of a deal. Although she did say there are some places that you really need to make plans because you need
Oh yeah.
reservations. There,
Yeah, yeah,
there are
that's
things that
understandable.
yeah, for everybody out there, don't just go, oh, I'm just going to go out and do it. Some places
Yeah.
that you do need reservations with, and you need to plan. Even the parks, the national parks. We grew up in Colorado
Hmm.
in the midst of the Rocky Mountains and in Rocky Mountain National Parks and things like
Hmm.
this. And before you just when we were kids and we were young, you could just drive there and do
Did it
it.
all the time.
Now you have to
Yep.
make an appointment.
Yeah,
You have
basically a
to
reservation
literally make
system.
an appointment, and they let it,
Hmm.
people in like every 20 minutes or something, so or 30 minutes.
Yeah, but it's because they had way too many people coming in and bothering the wildlife, leaving their
Yeah,
trash, and there's not enough workers. There's not enough workers to handle it
To do it.
all. So they had to make some sort of or an organized system out of it. It kind of sucks, but I totally understand why they
I
had to do it.
understand. Yeah, yeah. Well, we got to preserve what we've got. So
Yeah.
anyway, so what's your recommendation? Mine is a damn well two thumbs up if I could do my thumbs up and a yes and a
It's all
hallelujah.
fingers and all toes up. All fingers, all toes.
You need to check out. It's on Netflix. You can binge watch it now. That's the best part about it. It's the best. It's a double-edged sword
Yeah.
because
Because before we know it, we've been sitting there for hours because
yeah,
it's just like you said, it's infectious.
it's midnight
It,
and we're
it
going.
is.
Oh, I think we should go to bed, kind of
Yeah.
a thing.
It's a happy, happy show.
Happy show. Go see it. Go see it. Sit down and look at it. Take it down and watch it. You
Right.
do need a Netflix subscription to watch it,
Yeah.
but it's well worth it. So yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, we hope everybody out there is going to have a wonderful Labor Day, and if you're out and about, having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Thank you very much for being a part of One More Thing Before You Go community. We really love each and every one of you that are part of our journey with One More Thing Before You Go and over the Teacup Sundays. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching
Yep.
us. Please spread the word, and make sure you tell everybody. Watch us on YouTube channel. Just look on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
at Before You Go podcast on YouTube.
I don't get made up for these Sundays for just anybody. Like I do this for you people because believe me, you don't want to see me without makeup. But I take my Sunday to put my face on for you.
So
So go to
check it
YouTube.
out. Check it out. Check it out.
One of these days I might not. And I don't know if you want to check that out or not. Want to see if I even do
Well,
that.
you're
But
always beautiful to me. So,
aw, you have to
well,
say that because I sleep with you. So
I can't run, and it's.
right.
I understand. Um,
Hmm.
any last words of wisdom?
Nope. Just enjoy, watch somebody feed Phil and enjoy it and feel like you're there.
Take notes.
Yeah, take
Take
notes.
notes. Take notes. One more thing before you all go. Have a great day. Have a great week, and thanks for being with us.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to this episode of One More Thing Before You Go. Check out our website at beforeyougopodcast.com. You can find us as well as subscribe to the program and rate us on your favorite podcast listening platform.